Hello again. Tom, the well-traveled American. 27 February 2026. Let's talk about the PURL initiative and why it's important. The PURL initiative was to provide priority for Ukraine on their military and logistic needs. Announced July of 2025. The mechanism was established following discussions between U.S. President Donald Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. So this was a Trump-driven initiative to help Ukraine, something that he doesn't get too much credit for because of some of the other activities that sometimes his administration is prone to involving itself in. So the Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, or PURL, NATO-led initiative launched 2025 in July to coordinate purchases of U.S.-made defense equipment for Ukraine, funded by allied countries. It aims to fill critical gaps in ammunition and air defense, with over $4 billion pledged by December of 2025, and that number has steadily grown throughout 2026. The program allows European allies, and now, as we will see, some other allies from other parts of the world, and partners to finance U.S. weapons supporting Ukraine and the U.S. defense industry. So, in corporate America, this is what we call win-win. Let's go down what the fundamentals are here, what this really does. It accelerates critical supply. PURL directly addresses immediate battlefield needs of Ukrainian armed forces by sourcing weapons from existing U.S. stockpiles. You don't have to wait for it to be made. We've already made them. Ensuring faster, more reliable, and less bureaucratic delivery processes. That's absolutely essential. When you're up on the front and you don't have any ammo, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Timeliness has a particular quality unto itself. Never more true has this word's been than when we apply it to a wartime situation. So, stockpiled ammunition systems, other things can be delivered to Ukraine right off the shelf instead of waiting for a purchase order and a contract to be let, a process that takes 2 to 3 years. We don't have time for that nonsense. And they can be air delivered, by the way. Just like FedEx says, when it absolutely has to be there overnight. What are we talking about? Maintaining air defense capabilities. Kind of important. Initiative has been crucial in providing roughly 90% of the rockets and missiles for air defense systems such as Patriots supplied by partners since the summer of 2025, once again under the Trump administration, essential for protecting infrastructure. We just can't keep up, though. The Russians have been inundating Ukraine daily with attacks on critical infrastructure in their genocidal war to freeze and starve Ukrainians. Well, March will be here in another day. Ukraine will be here in another day. And as it turns out, the question will be, or is, will Russia be here in another day? Because it's not looking too good for the Russians at this point. While allies have banded together throughout the world to support Ukraine, not too many people stepping forward to help Russia because they're evil. That's, it's just simple. It's not a complex issue. Look at who's on the right side of the ledger here, shall we say, and that is most certainly Ukraine and the West. The Russians only want to oppress people. It's the way they have been since the days of the Tsar, all the way through the terrible times of the Soviet Union. I think we can all remember what Joseph Stalin brought the world. Bypass funding bottlenecks. As U.S. direct military aid changed in 2025, PURL allows European and other partners to fund U.S.-made equipment, ensuring continuing high volume and high-tech defense supplies, and supplies of all types. It's not just military supplies we're dealing with here. We're dealing with all kinds of supplies from all over, because this is the result of what happens when you don't have timely supplies. The Russians are allowed to continually launch attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure and civilian targets. Key weaponry involved in this is delivery of vital equipment, including HIMARS missiles, very important as we've seen, 155 millimeter artillery shells, absolutely critical, guided aerial bombs, thank you very much, France, among others, one of the leaders there, the French, with their hammer bombs, which are crucial for frontline defense and also for the ability for Ukraine to take back territory from the invaders. These aerial bombs have been used by Russia extensively to take territory away from Ukraine, but now Ukraine is starting to get deliveries primarily from France and the United States with the JDAMs, but also the French hammer bombs have proven very effective for Ukraine, as now they have attrited enough Russian air defense off the front battlefield to where Ukrainian aircraft, old legacy MiG-29s, but also French Mirage 5000s and F-16s now fitted with these ordnance systems that are proving to be effective on the front lines. United partner support with over 20 countries, not just NATO. 2 countries have stepped up now that are huge, and that would be Japan and South Korea. Both countries manufacturing powerhouses in the world. Enables a unified approach that pools resources from multiple nations, pledging over $4 billion in support to sustain Ukraine's long-term defense. And like I said, recently, Japan and South Korea have joined in on this. 2 countries that are absolutely huge in manufacturing of not only electronics and cars and washing machines, but also military equipment and supplies. So there we are. That's going to do it for us today. A little bit more positive than some of the others. To all of my friends in the Middle East, of which I have many, I sent them all a message the other day. My prediction, we'll see if that's going to come true. I don't know. But for a couple of weeks now, I had picked this Friday to be the day that the United States and possibly other countries will kick off their initiative to rein in the destructive ayatollahs over in Iran. So those of you who live in adjacent countries, Qatar, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Israel, better keep your head down, as it looks like it's going to get a little bit rough for a little while. Hopefully this time we'll get the job done completely, because this going back and redoing work multiple times is it's not a workable solution. The answer is to get rid of the problem completely. So there it is, the 27th of February, 2026, and I am out.